Compared to other public high schools in Georgia, the high school graduation rates in Macon, Georgia are relatively low. Because we currently live in Macon, it is important that we become involved in the community in which we attend school. Specifically, Southwest High School has 388 ninth graders and only 180 12th graders. This is a 46% decrease in students over a 4-year period. The graduation rate at Southwest High School is only 72%.
This is why we decided to begin our program at Southwest High School. Mercer Law School already has an established relationship with the students at Southwest High School. We want to begin our program at Southwest with the hopes of expanding it to other high schools throughout Georgia and eventually to other high schools throughout the country.
What is the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear the phrase school to prison pipeline?
The first thing that comes to my mind is that there's a break between the educators and the students, and there's something that the educators are not understanding when it comes to guiding the students appropriately.
The first thing that comes to my mind is our children, our Black children, being funneled from the school system directly to the prisons.
When I think of school to prison pipeline, I think of males, and specifically young Black males.
The first thing I think about when I hear school to prison pipeline is young Black boys being sent to prison from school, but also the fact that young Black females are ignored and they don't get the attention that they need.
Black female students are more likely to be reprimanded for social behaviors than praised for academic success. Educators have a lower expectation for Black female students than they do their white female counterparts. In addition, in 2003, Black female students were 2 times more likely to repeat a grade, face suspension, or expulsion.
Today in 2015, these statistics are virtually unchanged. This is because Black female students are stereotyped as loud and aggressive, and their educators treat them harsher than they do their white female counterparts.
This is why we decided to develop a mentorship program geared specifically towards addressing the needs of Black female students. As for Black female law students, we believe that it is important to have a program to address the intersectional needs that Black female students face. Many programs today are geared towards addressing the needs of Black students generally.
As for Black women, we thought that it was extremely important that we address the needs of young Black women in high schools. As we went through the statistics and we decided what was important for us to do, at least in the beginning stages, we realized that the specific needs of young Black girls are not necessarily accounted for. And that was the reason why we decided to establish a 4-step mentorship program, one that addresses academic success, community involvement, detailed goal setting, and initiatives surrounding confidence building exercises. And we really thought that that was an important step in making sure that these particular youth, these young Black women, are able to reach the next levels of success.
The goal of the academics program is to heighten the academic skill level of the students. This will be done by providing the students with tutors to teach them in their various classes. The students will also be taking on college tours, as well as a process to keep track of application deadlines. We hope that this will increase the likelihood of the students' academic success and just to help encourage them to continue succeeding in school.
The purpose of the goal setting program is to work with students to set short-term goals that will act as stepping stones to guide them to their long-term and ultimate goals. The hope is that students will realize that there are things that are not out of reach for them that as they thought they were. We want to turn their dreams into reality by helping them make these steps.
The purpose of the confidence building portion of the mentorship program is to really give the students a base in which they can really use the tools that have been given to them from the other aspects of the program to navigate the very difficult waters of high school. A lot of times what leads to these behaviors and to these disciplinary actions are some of the things that happen on the inside emotionally of a student that are ignored. And so the goal with the confidence building exercises is to really build better self-perceptions within the students so that they can really get to the next level in a successful manner.
The purpose of the Community Involvement Initiative is to begin to bridge the gap between local law enforcement officers and students. As we all know, Black students and Black female students are punished harsher for minor infractions, and one of the biggest things that deter them from graduating high school is early involvement in the juvenile justice process. Our hope for the program is to begin to improve the relationship between local law enforcement and the community and the students.
The whole community is impacted by the school to prison pipeline. Our Black children are suffering, specifically our Black female children are suffering. For this reason and for this project, we are calling on the community as a whole for their help, as well as school administration, teachers, the students, Mercer Law students, to help us in accomplishing our goal to transforming the school to prison pipeline into a path to success.
The importance of the community involvement piece is that we are all stakeholders in the development of the children. And so what's very important is that everybody lend a helping hand in the academic development and the behavioral development of the children. And that's one of the reasons why we're asking local law enforcement to be involved, why we're asking the school to be involved, and why we're asking Mercer Law students to be involved, because we are all stakeholders in the development of these young Black students who will ultimately be our future leaders of the community that we're in.
And let's not forget that we also need involvement and participation from parents, because once the students go home, they need someone to continue to follow up with these things that we are trying to teach them in the mentorship program.
And it's also important that we examine all of these items through a critical race theory and feminism lens. Oftentimes in the law and academia, as we have noticed with our own research, is that students that are affected on an intersectional basis are being ignored. So the needs of a child who is a racial minority plus a child who is a female student, they have two individual needs that are not being addressed in the manner that's most appropriate for the way in which these special students are affected.
In addition to human resources, we call on you to help raise funds. We plan to raise these funds through fundraisers as well as sponsorship. We will use the funds to supply the children with sports equipment for their community involvement, art supplies, and other resources that we need for the program.
Black Lives Matter.
Black children matter.
Black students matter.
Black female students matter too.